fee.
Yeah, and we had to take a class in that. To give you an example, one of the things we had to do, we had to take a problem and we had to make a flow chart, and those flow charts were on rolled paper. Could be 10, 15 feet. We had to flow chart a problem.
Incredible.
So for general systems theory is essentially the theme of my book.
Oh.
My book is called Educational System Studies, a framework for the study of national systems of education. And God, I should have you read that.
I'd love to read it, by the way. I'd be delighted to. I also want to say this, that it reminds me of Wittgenstein, who shows that there's a limit to extremely precise language. That there is no perfect systems. The mathematician Gödel proved the same thing. But Wittgenstein's Tractatus Theologico Philosophicus, which I studied as a freshman at Swarthmore under Professor Charles Raff, that book is fascinating because he starts out using the language of the logical positivists, I think they call themselves, where they number each proposition and they're trying to talk in like mathematics to avoid ambiguity. Finally, he gets to the end of the book and he says, he who understands these propositions realizes that they are nonsense. He must throw away the ladder after he's climbed up it.
Well, the guy who I think really brought, and he's being cited in just about every literature base, whether it's law or medicine. This guy named Gehrig. He and I've done a very thorough study of. I've got his books, all of his articles. He came up with a concept called essentially contested concepts.
I like that, the way that rings.
And I actually critique his concept, not from the fact I disagree with it, but he said a concept remains essentially contested until it can be resolved. So I even say in the book that now if he would have looked up the word essentially and contested in concept, the dictionary he would have went to was the first version of the Oxford.
Right.
I've got the second, and I've got a few volumes of the first.
I never realized it was so large.
20 volumes for the second. About 10 volumes for the first.
His dictionary is taking up 2 shelves down there. And each book, the 2 of them on top of each other, are as tall as the chair he's sitting in.
Mm-hmm. And the print is like 8-point print.
Yeah, but I look at it and I think, wow, that looks like an encyclopedia, but it's not. It's a dictionary
of the English language. Okay, so he would have went to the Oxford one. So to be sure, I bought the E and the C and a few others, but the E and the C
to
of
compare.
The first. That's all I could find of the first.
Wow.
To find out what was the definition. So he said an essentially contested concept remains contested. In other words, there's going to be no agreement. There's legitimate contestation of it until there's a resolution. And I said, if you look at the word essentially contested, essentially comes from essence.
Right.
And he even said, at the essence, it's contested. If something is contested at the essence, it can never be resolved.
Never.
Yeah,
because the essence is the core.
That kind of reminds me of
the essence of Glenn can never be changed.
The whole idea of unity versus duality. When you ask your first question, to use Persig's language, you're going to cut that. You're going to suddenly create a division in that unity. You don't have unity anymore.
The thing is that for example, there's no universal definition of education. Education is an essentially contested concept.
I learned that from you.
Religion is an essentially contested concept.
Sure, that makes sense.
Art, and he wrote the famous paper. What you have in scholarship now, you can't believe the shit that I found in my book. I'm not contesting Galley's theme. I believe that there are essentially contested concepts. What I don't agree with him on is that they can be resolved. Because if something is contested at its essence,
right,
which is the root of essentially,
Right. It almost sounds like you're in agreement with Hegel. You know that you see both the synthesis and the antithesis as essential, and you don't necessarily see a synthesis. You have a natural tension between the two, and I can quickly identify with that. And I'm also reminded of people like Heisenberg. You know, basically proving the limits of language. That after a certain point, we don't learn more by continually splitting hairs over a specific subject.
But you know, look, in Mexico, we probably have the first scientific efforts, the development of corn.
Mm-hmm.
And corn is a plant breeding achievement that is solitary among all the plants developed by humans.
Fascinating.
People would say why. We all know why, but we never think about it. So in the Midwest, when they're shipping grain, wheat, if a grain of wheat falls out of the freight train, you can actually walk alongside freight tracks and see wheat growing.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And the wind can take the seed from wheat, right?
Right.
Rice is the same. But corn, think about the seed of corn.
Is it the ear?
It's wrapped in a wrapper that can only be taken off by a human. It can be bitten through by an animal, but an animal would not be concerned only with getting the seeds, because the green wrapper would also be nutritious to an animal that could digest.
So was it bred for the wrapper?
No.
Well?
But the point is that why it's the greatest plant breeding achievement is because it is the only grain that requires human intervention in order to propagate.
You know, I always tell you,
and so Kempton calls
I'm in the
it
University
man's
of
most
Hard
significant
Knocks
one
where
of the
my
Nobel
colleagues are.
calls it man's most
And
significant plant breeding achievement.
My favorite thing is to
Somebody
just
has to
be
do
around
this.
my colleagues and listen
And if they
to
don't, it
their
won't
intellectual
replicate.
talk.
Throw an ear of corn on the
While I go into
we
my
are part
thoughts.
of we are part of its
And this is what
the reason I brought
happens.
this up is because you just
So,
used a word that was very close to duality.
Bear with me while
Right.
we indulge in this.
Duality is the great theme of Mexican philosophy. It's the great theme. Omiteotl means, Teotl is translated by European science up until recently as God. So Teotihuacan means place that
sounds
you go
like
to
theos,
become
the
God.
Greek theos.
This is Teo, Teo.
So it sounds like a derivative of
T-E-O-T.
theta epsilon
Yeah, but
omicron
it's not.
sigma. It's not okay.
It's not, but-
It's just an accident.
Yeah, it's I can't pronounce Nahuatl correctly. I don't
Okay.
speak Nahuatl, but Teotl. The Spanish interpreted as God.
Is that a part of the name of that big city near Mexico City?
Teotihuacan.
Say that again.
Teotihuacan.
So it has the name built in.
That's the song that you play trumpet on with the pyramid.
Oh, we should
Okay,
do that.
so Teo, now Bierhorst in his dictionary of Nahuatl says that it's probably closer to spirit. But the elder in Mexico that taught me in central Mexico said it's really closer to energy.
Is this the guy that you met at the end of a long hallway? I'd love for you to tell that
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
I'd love for you to tell that
Yeah.
story to Gehrig because I think he would find it fascinating if you don't mind.
Oh no, I met a man that used to travel throughout the Southwest. He was from Mexico City. He was very well known. I mean, he was well known enough so that when I was with him, we went to visit the chief of staff of a guy running for president. And he even though he was a humble Indian guy, he moved. He was known. He was known as a healer, a medicine man. And he had I met him in Phoenix. And after he got done speaking, I went up and talked to him. And I said, I'm supposed to learn from you. And he said, I know. Come with me, we'll be together today. And so I followed him. And even though I was already, a graduate student and everything, and this guy probably didn't have a high school education, I walked a step behind him. He noticed that. He noticed that I gave him the deference due to a leader, right? In our culture, right? Because in our culture, leaders are at the bottom. That's why they get respect. So you'll hear, in the Northeast, in the Northwest, you hear stories about how leaders would have a giveaway. Every few years they'd give away everything they owned. It's this kind of idea of leader as a servant, as a real servant, is kind of in Native American culture. I think there's a lot of European analysis of, and I take that apart too in my book, about the sources, what's called the sources. But anyway, so this idea of two energies that you just mentioned is a real omi teotl, two energies. Omi means two. Teotl means energy. So there's two energy or two spirits. So what you're talking about, this is the issue that even Europeans, especially in the last half of the 20th century, especially as you started to get my generation of scholars coming in, who understood and who realized the Bertolon,
Yes.
general systems theory, and the idea that you can't understand a problem till you understand the system that it's embedded in, or the system that it is. That taking the system apart into its core will sometimes inhibit your ability to understand the whole.
Yeah,
and
that's
that you have to
fascinating.
understand the whole.
It's about knowing the context, right?
Right. You can understand the kidney to 100 millionth degree, but that doesn't mean you're going to understand the human body.
Right. This reminds me of a story that I was told in Haiti by Pierre Leroy, who's the guy that picked me up at the airport, and he's a conductor in Haiti.
And keep talking. I'm going to get you
Yeah.
guys some water.
So he told me about the pigs. That the Haitian pig was used kind of like a garbage disposal. They would give whatever the Haitian household needed to throw away, they'd give it to the pig, and the pig would eat it, and the pigs would eat anything. And the pigs were hardy and strong, and they were an essential part of each Haitian household. So then the Americans came in, and they analyzed the pig and found that the Haitian pig was carrying some kind of disease. And so therefore they felt that all the pigs needed to be put down. So they arranged to have all the pigs put down and brought in a different strain of pig from the mainland to take their place. And within 6 months, all of the imported pigs died, and there was famine. Because the imported pig didn't have the characteristics of the native Haitian pig that had served this important function. So it's kind of like an illustration of what you were talking about. You have to know the context in order to accurately solve the problem. The Americans coming in thought they had the solution, but they didn't know the context of the role of the Haitian pig within Haitian society.
That's the law of unintended consequences.
Exactly.
Well, and this thing, I think, for example, go back to music,
Right.
which, I saw an interview with Miles the other day, and because I think a lot of people, I have to, the word that I really want to use is despised, although I don't want to say that word, but I despise the movie about Miles.
Oh, I never watched it.
My wife walked out of there.
You know why I knew it was terrible was because I saw an interview with the director, and the director.
They concentrated on all the negative shit.
So all they did actually was take a Hollywood plot and apply it to Miles's life, which wasn't true of Miles's life.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really about Miles, but they made up a fancified story that made Miles into a cowboy, gun-shooting cowboy, which
And a drug addict.
And a drug addict.
And he was a drug addict, but that's not all he was.
Right. What's sad is that they just took what was pretty much a stock plot that they knew would sell movies,
Okay.
and superimpose and use Miles's name to promote it.
Yes.
But the guy who did the movie thought he was doing this some kind of historic thing, but he wasn't.
But I guess the thing that where I wanted to take this is least from my perspective, is that
This is
that
delicious. There's something special
in a
this
class, yeah,
What
I know
is it?
you like
It's
that.
delicious,
It's
whatever
that
it is.
lemon.
It says
It's sparkling water.
some special kind of lemon that his wife cans herself.
Yeah, cans, yeah.
And he used to give me it in jars.
I'm
when
going to
I
give you a
come.
jar today. Just remind me, because I'll forget.
Yeah, okay.
So,
By the way,
you know-
my mom said it was the best thing she'd ever had in
So
any
we're
mixed drink.
going to set you up. So the issue with music is that I watched that interview with Miles, and he's looking at, and he talks, and he looks right at the camera and says, "I love music. So I'm hearing music now. I hear it all the time." And I remember watching Andre Bocelli on Tavis Smiley, and he said the same thing. And Tavis was kind of like, "You heard it right." And you know what? I hate to say this, and I've never put myself in the same class as either of those two people, but I hear music almost. I'm not gonna say all the time, but almost all the time. When I'm writing, I
Right.
gotta have music on.
So for this morning, I woke up, and because I've been obsessing about Chrysler for a few days, I heard that theme in my head. So I immediately went and listened to the thing that I played for you, which I had shared on Facebook yesterday. And it's an amazing thing how music will have this way of enhancing your whole day. You know, if you live your day and you hear music in the background, which I'm capable of doing too, of course, it enhances my day.
I
And
made a proposal to Sly yesterday. I told Sly that I thought you and Sly and I could write great music. And let me tell you why. I said, Glenn brings a melodic sense, you bring a chord sense, and both having great improvisation skills, and I bring the craziness.
yeah,
and
that's great.
and the ability because I've got a good ear, I've got a good ear, and better than a lot of musicians in one narrow sense. I know it will work for a song.
Right. By the way,
I don't have a good ear in terms of
By the way,
I can't tell the pitches. I can, but I have a good ear and I can hear little phrase. Like, let me play you something.
yeah, please do.
Come
Go to
with me.
okay, we'll walk over
And then
there.
we'll come. I want to. I had Sly. I made Sly write a song. Oh, that's exciting. I didn't make it in the sense that I forced it, but he did a little doodle, and I said, "Wait a minute, wait a minute. Do something with it. What do you got? Play more." So we played it. And then but see, the big thing I realized is the reason I think we could work together. I would like to. You know what I really like to do? I would like to write an extended music. Because I figure we don't have the ego. We're willing to listen to each other. I think we can sit down and what I thought we take a theme, take a theme of something that I think and then start out with the native instruments. We take a theme and develop that theme into something. And we're trying to write some standards, right? Write some songs that I want to do. Would you want more, Glenn? Are you done?
I'm still drinking this. It's delicious. So you're saying that the three of us sit down and take a theme and create an extended composition, and that would be, of course, using your engineering skills as well.
Right. We'd sit in here, and let's look at visuals. In other words, let's you know how they do a score in Hollywood, at least they used to. They would be playing the film while the musicians are in the recording studio.
Right, they still do that.
So they could see that everything lined up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the reverse is what Molly did to Miles, where he played the film and said, "Make something up to the film."
Right.
Right. So yesterday, Sly did something, and I said, "Wait a minute, Sly. That sounds like something from a koto." I said, "Let me put a koto on your piano." And
I played the koto. This is great. I want to hear this.
And I said, you know, we got done. I said, Sly, I want to name this. I'm going to name it. He said, no problem, name it. I said, I don't know what to call it. So I said, I want to call it Nagasaki in the Rain.
That's a great title. I love the title.
Of course, it's a double thing. The rain, the natural rain, and the
Nuclear
black
rain.
rain
Yeah,
from the bomb.
Nuclear rain. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that right away.
So this is what he came up with. And I think that if we could get the three of us in a room, I just think we could do some. I don't know that you guys need me, but this is for Kodo and piano. So that's the Kodo part and that's the piano part.
So far, I really like it.
Okie dokie, since Sly wasn't here, we decided to do this ourselves. And
I'll
this
send
is
this
what
to my
we
guitar
did.
player. He'll throw some shit on this if you
It's a
won't.
great idea.
Fuck that. Let's
Get
put
it.
that part in
Yeah,
right
put
now.
it in. Yeah. He's good at this. He's good
Put
at these
that
additive,
part in there right
additive
now.
parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just in my alley.
So how do you want to do it? What instrument do you want for that?
You can go guitar.
Yeah, let's put it. How about if we do? The guitar never sounds too good.
How about
on
an
this.
organ?
Okay. Organ? Will
let's
Hammond work?
do
A Hammond B3? No?
Electric piano?
something that's twangy like a guitar.
Like electric piano?
Clavichord.
Yeah, Stevie used that a lot.
Yeah, clavichord would sound great.
Okay, well, let's try it.
He wanted twang. That's twang for you.
Okay, so we got dark clav, direct clav, dry funky, dry hard, family clav, which is
How
probably
about a phased clav? Want to try that?
phase clav. Got it.
Let's just see what it sounds like. I'm just curious. You think
Okay,
that work?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it sounds great. Like, I don't know, but hey, why not try?
Well, we need, but we can take that out because he's right. The guitar, it should be a real guitar player.
but I thought as though this will
But for
give
now-
this will give him like the Stevie
This
type
will
of
give
effect,
that,
like
yeah.
Stevie uses in.
And we can bury it underneath the guitar.
Those were the days, remember?
Okay, here we go. We're recording. Okay, that's good.
Nice.
We ran out of
bass line.
We ran out of piano, but that's okay. So let me shrink
Could
this
always
down.
loop that later, though,
Yeah,
right?
let me shrink this down because I'm hearing something else.
I like the clavichord though. That would also sound good if it was on strings, like cellos. I like it.
I like the second part better.
I like it. I like when you played the harmony part on the clav. That part there. Sounds
Okay, let's
dense.
get let's get the 3 verses done. So help me on this, Glenn. 'Cause
All right. What do you want?
I gotta figure out where the cutoff point is. So we're saving.
Okay, so this phase clav goes slightly past the line there. I think you want to.
So that we got 3 verses of bass. So we wanna.
You want to just split it there and then delete the end or mute the end, whatever.
Yeah, because it was clean. That's a
Yeah,
thing.
and that's
So
your-
now we got to get the piano underlaid.
Okay, I'm curious how it sounds just the way he played it. Let's see if it matches. Because I'd be curious. Some of it might even match the part you had muted.
Oh, I think we can flip the piano for
I was
now.
gonna say, just let it. I'm curious to see like how it sounds against what you've already recorded. If you unmuted some of this, it might work. I don't know if it will or not. You could try it. This has got a nice texture to it, don't you think? It's not too dense. It's got some variety of timbre.
It needs. If it has a lyric, I think that'll make it.
Oh, I agree with
But I think also. So that's where I'm going to cut it right there, and then I'll double that last one. So it's right on the 1, right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem here? So we got this 1 note sticking over.
Fix that. Yeah. Perfect.
So if we cut there, then we can duplicate.
Oh, okay.
And then
This is. Here he starts doing the harmony clav. Kind of like that.
I like that.
It sounds fatter. The next chorus is all harmony clav.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do the second time around. Keep it like that.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds nice.
Then strings would be kind of lilting over.
Yeah, yeah. Strings
okay,
could-
so now we got 3 verses. Okay, break out the trumpet, Glenn.
All right.
Although
Which the rest of them?
What, the rotary? Yeah, I'll go get the rotary.
I can't help myself.
No, that's all right.
I love that horn.
Yeah.
Where's your rest from that?
Oh, right down. Follow Glenn, and you'll see it right to your right.
That's right there.
we need a bridge.
Okay.
Which? Go ahead. There you go. I'm gonna play you. I'm gonna play the last verse. Go ahead. It's all
Okay.
yours. And let's run through. Try to remember what you. Well, I'm gonna record what you do.
I got it.
So go ahead.
I'm just gonna go to the fourth chord.
Yeah. So we need a bridge. It's gonna come in. Here's what you'll hear. I'm gonna give you your. You'll hear this. This is where the bridge comes in.
Oh, it's delayed on the piano. You got latency on there. So it should be. See how it's playing?
Okay, so let's try it. Let's see what happens if we record it. Here we go.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go change it to the chord, the fourth chords.
Okay. All right. So here we go again. That's it.
The latency that's going might come out crazy on the timing because it's not responding like automatically. Yeah.
Okay, so what we gotta do now is where's the bass? Okay, so let's we're gonna have to put a bass line in it. You know what I think we need to do is we need to take that doo-doo that is too much like the old one. So let me get rid of that and see. We need to get rid of that. You're gonna need a different. You're gonna need a different pickup for the bridge because those notes are sending you back to the tonic.
Oh, sure.
I learned that word tonicization from Glenn.
All right. Yeah, that's an important word.
So I'm going to the fourth.
Good idea.
First, why don't you lay a bass part down? Because with bass will help you.
Okay, yeah.
A bass will help you.
As long as the latency's not there, because I'm playing it, but it's not responding. That's the killer part. See how it's doing?
It hits a little after you. It hits a little late.
You hear it after I hit it. Because I'm also trying to keep with the metronome.
Well, let's try it. See what happens. Here we go.
Other than that, it'd be perfect.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Not bad.
So this I just want to do that too, I think. Then I want to take these two. And I want to line them up. I want to do that.
Yeah, one thing you could do with the bass, if you want, you could move it just a fraction of a beat to the left. That would compensate for the latency, because I hear the bass is just a hair late because of mostly probably because of latency. So just the bass part that he just recorded. I think the other part's fine, for all I know. But if you just move that just a hair. It's not bad, just slightly after the piano.
Yeah. I don't know why I went into the latency part.
I think it's because it's trying to play the wave files that constitute the percussion parts at the same time that it's recording all that other stuff. So there's a limitation to how many tracks it can play while it's recording, and still play you the.
Yeah, but I never have
sound.
problems. I don't something. So here, let's see.
I bet it's got something to do with that saving and in the memory.
Well, playback. I'm trying to think. Different people monitor in
That's
different
what we
ways.
do
Like if
that
it's a
at
live
the
instrument,
house.
you can monitor the live instrument, and you don't have to worry. The MIDI has to be processed, then associated with the sample, then played back. That takes the computer a few microseconds or whatever.
After you burned it.
Maybe 100 milliseconds or maybe 200 milliseconds.
Exactly what happened.
Less than a second, but it's enough to make the bass sound late. And you could just move it and it would probably fix it.
Should this note be on the?
I think it should be on the line.
Okay,
Here,
well,
instead
let's
of,
see that.
I think if you just do that with
you
them,
guys can see it.
yeah, he's looking at the MIDI
So do you see
information.
it off graphically? On
It shows that it's coming the next tick past the line, and
That's
and
interesting.
it's supposed to start directly on the line. So I think if you just could move the whole thing like
That
half,
sounds like Cubase.
if you could move half a tick or whatever, I don't know how it works, but I don't know if yeah, there you did it. You did it. Let's do it now. Perfect. Just like Gehrig played it, right? Now it's perfect.
Okay, so we need a different bass line there too. We just
Yeah,
need,
now I want to do the bass over again. 'Cause
yeah.
Now
well,
I know what I did.
everything's good on the bass, except for right here. Because the
One
bass,
note I didn't even
the
like.
bass line is again going back to the time.
By the way, Hawk is a bass player. I think I told you.
Oh, so I accept Chris.
So the bass line is taking us back to the tonic, right?
When we go to the bridge.
Yeah,
This is a fourth chord.
what I'm saying is right now the way you lay it, which is right because you are laying it out for a verse to repeat a verse.
Hey, can
So
you do
the
something
bass
like
line had-
dun 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 bum,
Whatever.
bum, bum, bum,
You just
bum.
need to do the pickup into the bridge because what we got right now is this. So dun dun dun.
Right.
It's
some kind of lead into
it's
the
going
four.
into the tonic, and what
Okay,
we need
yeah,
is for
yeah.
that bass line to go into the bridge.
Right, right.
So it'd be a different line.
Bridge is on the four.
Whatever
So
you
I
want
was
to
thinking
do.
of this one.
Okay.
Listen to this. I'm sorry. Or something like.
I got it.
Gehrig knows what to
I
do.
got it.
He's got it out. I don't want to step on your toes, Gehrig, because I know you have a better idea than anything I would come up with.
Okay,
After
so
we got that
I,
lazy.
I kept those notes, but I muted them. So this is what you're going to hear now. Instead of hearing that.
Actually, it sounds good without a
You
bass
know,
too,
and,
doesn't it?
let me see something about this piano. Is that piano a little off too?
I couldn't tell. I thought the piano was more accurate than the bass.
Yeah, but listen, I think the piano. Listen, it should be.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a fraction of a
Yeah,
second.
but I'll
It's
clean
the
that
same
up, too.
latency I had to go through.
The same thing as the bass.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just move it over ever so slightly until it
Yeah.
lines up with the next tick.
If
with
you,
the previous
the way
tick.
you guys got it lined up, grab that. Beautiful. 'cause
Yeah, that's good. You could do
it's
that so
hard to
easily.
play.
Yeah.
You can't do it playing.
But now it's all going to line up.
Yeah, now you got it right there.
It's kind of like it's like flex time for MIDI, right? It's like
Man, I love that part of the groove. How to mess
people
up
do
and
it for
love
me on the. Well, I've had to do it in the studio for trumpet too occasionally. come in late. Sometimes I just move the note instead of bothering to have me replay again.
That's some serious software.
Yeah, it's pretty
Remind
good.
me of Cubase.
Yeah. Which version of Logic is that? 10?
That's the last one, yeah. Oh. So I gotta get this. All.
That's almost like, what's that term where they correct the notes in their time?
Pitch correction?
It's something else, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah. I
you know what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. But I like that part. Because it is latent. And it reminds me of when me and you were recording.
Yeah.
And it gets in the memory and it throws things
So
up.
monitoring is a trick, but sometimes you monitor, like if you have a live keyboard, you just listen to the keyboard instead of the recording.
Yeah, that bleeding effect came in there when it was.
Well, you have to have headphones.
But I like that part.
Yep.
Okay, let's put it on the line and move it over to a hundredth of an inch.
Yeah.
You know?
He's doing that.
Yeah. What is that term?
Quantization.
Quantizing. There you go. There it is. That's what I said. But quantizing can be...
Quantizing takes the human element out, but what he's doing doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I like about that. Yeah.
Just corrects the attack.
Okay, so now let's see what this does. It's just a tick.
Okay.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So I can handle that bass part now.
I think it's gonna work. I don't think you have to redo it.
When I play it, I gotta concentrate on my beat instead of listening to
Right,
it.
I know where you're coming from. Perfect. Sounds really nice. Gotta give the conga player a raise.
Then I go to the A flat, F flat, B flat.
Yeah, I can hear this.
And then to the D. Yeah, I can do it now.
Nice that you put a bridge in there. That was a good idea. Did that get out of alignment?
Yeah, that's okay. I see what I have to do. This thing is
Boom, 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 boom.
Making it exactly fit the verse?
yeah, it's easy to fix. I just need to find the right pickup spot.
There you go.
So let's see what I got now. Okay, so here's through the bridge.
Sharp 9. Nice.
Yeah.
And to create another chorus with another bridge from it. I see it.
Okay, so there we go.
Sure.
So that's the whole song.
Nice.
Now, do a fade ending. I like fades. I read something. Somebody said songs don't fade. I read an article in one of the music trades said, you know, people don't fade songs anymore. And in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, that was
Standard.
not. It was yeah. A lot of people faded songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And I actually like fade songs.
Me
even
too.
though-
I like it too because it implies that The music still continues
Yeah.
even though you can't hear it. It's
Right.
like, yeah, carry it with you, you know. You want me to use this mic here?
Play something classical over
Oh,
there.
sure. On
Not a classical piece.
On this trumpet?
Yeah, not a classical piece, but classical style.
Yeah, I know. I think I know that's what you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me
Your
of.
repair on the job?
Oh, well, I noticed it was a little dented, so I just straightened it out with my thumbs. By the way, this mouthpiece says on it, William Vacchiano. Do you know who he was?
No.
You want to look him up?
William Bacchiano.
William Vacchiano. Just look that up in somewhere. Just you'll get a cool insight into the mouthpiece. That's YouTube, so you probably just want to generalize Google search. There you go. William Vacchiano. V-A-C-C. There it is. Come up first hit there. William Vacchiano.
Oh, he died 2005.
He was principal trumpet in New York Philharmonic. So now, I ordered this mouthpiece from somebody in New York. And, I got it because the brand was Stork. And I thought it might have a screw rim. But look what it says. Vacchiano. It says custom Vacchiano on it.
Jeez.
So it was whatever mouthpiece he liked.
That's the
It was his signature mouthpiece. So ever since I found that out, I've been using this with the pops, and I love it. It's just a good mouthpiece. It's a 3C, but it's a William Vacchiano custom 3C. And there's his picture. Look, there he is.
Yeah. So think classical.
Look, William Vacchiano on orchestral style. William Vacchiano discusses how to use vibrato properly.
Wow.
William Vacchiano tells how he started in trumpet. Well, I got to watch those now that I've learned about this. Yeah, so classical style. Okay.
Okay, so
So I'm not playing the main melody, right? I'm just playing sort of
No,
like an intro solo.
haunting,
Yeah.
melancholy
Thank
intro.
you. Thank you. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah. I'm getting into it already.
Okay, so
Some
here
vibrato,
we
maybe a little bit.
Yep.
go. Yeah, whatever. I'm
Okay.
I'm
so,
gonna
so you want me to just start at the
record,
beginning, or
no, for right now, let's just do the first part. Let's just do one part at a time.
okay,
That
sure.
way.
So tell me, you want me to play as soon as you started, or do you want
Yeah,
me
as
to?
soon as
Okay.
we started.
Sure.
Okay, so. And then I'm gonna have to do a levels set. So why don't you just
Sure.
don't
Do-
play what you want. Just play
Right.
practice.
Looks pretty
Okay,
good. Huh?
let me see what we got.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You want to put the mic higher, or do you like it right there?
No, I think we'll put the mic a little higher.
Okay, because I can point
I
right
wanna
at it.
see. Okay, so we're getting
You're gonna be strong.
for some reason we're
You're
only
not
getting
hearing
one
too
hand.
much. Yeah.
So I gotta do this again and put you on mono.
Okay.
Okay, another practice.
Oh,
run.
sure,
Here we
sure.
go. Please don't forget what you just did.
Oh, it's always going to be different.
I know, but
Yeah.
try here.
You like what I was doing though.
Listen to it.
He did
Perfect.
me the
Listen
same
to
way.
it. It's composition. It's not improvisation. That's not.
Okay, yeah.
That's not. That's composition.
You're getting enough signal that it'll be okay with you.
I can make the signal.
All right,
That's
just want to make sure you're getting enough signal. So I can hear fine. Probably don't even need to use headphones.
No, that's not because
Yeah.
we'll.
So it would save time if we don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, the headphones are right here.
But I'm saying I probably don't need them.
Okay.
The only reason to use them is so there wouldn't be a lot of rhythm section bleed over in the mic. You know.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, they're right here.
All right, let's just use them because that way my track will be my track and not all the background tracks mixed in.
Yeah, they won't be mixed in.
Yeah.
Because that just makes it super hard to. Because
Makes
you're gonna
your
hit,
job a lot harder.
Well, you're gonna hit stuff that's good.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Right.
So it's hard to have you say.
Say all into yourself and that, huh?
Okay. This is pretty good. Okay, so can you let me hear myself in the
Let's see what-
headphones
let's see.
too?
Will make a difference.
Oh, I don't hear my own sound. I was wondering if you can't do it, it's okay. But if you could put my own sound in the headphones a little bit louder, then I'd be able to hear myself better.
Yeah, that's
In the
good.
context of the
Yeah,
mix. If you can't, then I'll just take.
No.
I'll just take it.
I can do it here.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna play, and I'll turn you up. But
Okay.
tell me.
A little more if you can do it. I can still hear myself well enough. I don't know if it's in here, but I can still hear it.
Okay.
That's good enough.
All right, so.
All right.
So remember this. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
I've got you set up.
Sure.
Got you on record. It's on input 1. We're recording. Okay, so let's listen to that.
Sure. How it sounds. I
want to leave room for the singing.
I couldn't hear
I'm
all
gonna-
the
I'm gonna
instruments.
write a lyric to
I
this.
couldn't hear all the instruments in my headphones, but that's okay. We'll hear it now. I like it.